Welcome to the Adult Amateur's Guidebook podcast, where we dive into the world of adult amateur equestrians, talking about everything from riding woes to feeding regimens to horse show days. Get ready for the real and authentic conversations about the challenges and joys of being an adult amateur and trying to live out our horse girl dreams. Let's tack up, grab a glass of wine, and ride into the world of the adult amateur.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Okay, guys, we're back. Another episode. And we have a fantastic guest
I'm so excited.
Yeah, who we just met just now.
Yeah, just now.
I know.
I feel like we've been besties for
a minute.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah. So tell us who you are and all about you.
Okay, so my name is Carly. And I actually, do you want more of like my riding background and then like?
Yeah, let's start with that. Okay. And then we'll get into like, who really deep down who you are as a soul.
As a soul. Okay, I love it. So yeah, I started riding when I was 8. I actually went to a family trip to Costa Rica with my dad and I fell off of a horse on a trail ride and I got
on the beach?
Through the
jungle
rainforest through the literal rainforest and it was just me and a guide. Like my dad was like, I'm not going to that, and so he like sent me.
He's like drinking marks.
Yeah. He sent me with a random man to go riding in the forest by ourselves, and I loved it. And the horse got scared, and I fell off into like a puddle, and I immediately went for the horse. Like, mind you, have had no experience with horses up until this point. Like jumped right up, found the horse, and got back on. And I'm 8 years old, and I'm like climbing up back onto this horse. And the man looks at me and goes, "Have you ridden horses before?" I was like, "No." And after he comes back, brings me back to my dad. I'm 8 years old, and he's like, your kid should get into horses. And so as soon as we got back, I started riding. I started eventing, and honestly, people say it's crazy. I love eventing.
It's a different breed.
It is a different breed, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
And I loved it. My first horse was an appendix, a quarter horse thoroughbred cross, and he was a baby. I mean, but so smart, so incredible. It just started like the best journey for me, especially with horsemanship, which we need to talk about.
Yes.
But yeah, like I was mucking stalls, I was feeding my horse, doing all the water, everything. Like when we're at shows, I had no help, no groom. And I loved that. I loved growing up like that. I loved learning those parts that I think is really important for a lot of these children that don't learn that.
Yeah. And we're going to get into that. We're about that too.
Yeah. And so I did that. My mom was a little crazy, one of those like show moms.
Like a dance mom, but like a show mom?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So yeah. Ended up going to the AECs, the American Eventing Championships. I was the youngest rider at the time. I was third after dressage.
Oh my gosh.
A few hundred people got disqualified in cross country. I won, of course. So that was, heartbreaking.
Okay.
It's fine. And it's open too. So
it's kind of easy to do, right?
Yeah, it's not separated.
It's not easy.
No, I'm saying it's easy to go off course. Because it's like,
yes. So easy to do because, you're on like
acres.
Like 80 acres of land. I don't even know. Like, and you are just having to remember this, go all around. I'm 10 at the time, I think, and got disqualified. Very upset about that, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
Then decided to switch over to jumpers. Changed trainers. I did that for a bit. My mom was picking me up in the carpool line on Thursdays with my horse in the trailer. Like,
that's amazing.
That's so cool.
I spent 3-day eventing every Friday through Sunday. I was there. I was in a different state doing all the things. And then I realized I had no friends. I had no life because that's all I did. I spent every weekend with my horses. So around 14, I was like, I kind of had enough. But I loved horses. It just ruined it for me. It became way too much pressure. Like I just wanted to ride horses.
Yeah.
And so I stopped and then completely.
Dang.
Just done. My dad, I just imported a new horse from Germany.
Your dad's
my dad's like, you're not going to go car when you turn 16.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So she went back and I was done. I just so burnt out, so upset. I ended up hating the world of riding and it just ruined it. And so as an adult, I was like, I'm really missing something that's mine again.
Yeah.
And horses are so special.
Yeah.
And, we're adults, we work, like that's all we do. We would go to bars. I don't know, but I'm like, I need something.
I know.
Real.
Yeah, something besides that. And so a few years ago, I was just on Google, this is so funny. On Google, I was like looking at barns nearby, and I'm like, maybe I'll get into it. I saw this horse that was available for lease, which actually she wasn't even, like, that ad was from a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I saw it and I called and I asked about her, and my trainer now was like, hey, I think she's off lease, but she's I think about to go back on with these kids. So, but just come see if you like the barn, whatever. Ended up actually not working out. I leased that horse. I've been with them ever since.
Oh my gosh.
I have been able to have the opportunity to ride so many horses with them.
And you're at Falcon Ridge, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sharon Entine is like, there's this language that she speaks of horse that you can take the quirkiest horse, whatever, and she just knows.
Yeah.
And I love that about her, like, talk about being a horsewoman. Like, she knows how to respect the horse's boundaries and teach you the things that you need to do to support your horse. And I just really loved that space. Like, I wanted to be a horsewoman again, you know?
Yeah.
And so then now I spend my circuits at WEC and in Florida and show all over the Southeast. And it's been, like, literally the greatest thing ever. But, you know, if we get into my personal background, my dad is very lucky that he's like, I love that you ride and then I don't have to pay the bill.
I know.
How fun is that?
Yeah.
And so, I do all of that myself now, which we'll talk about too. But so I own a few businesses. I worked full time in the corporate world until I was 24, I believe. I might have just turned 20. No, I was 24. And I quit my full-time job. I'd started a few businesses that really took off, and it was very evident that I am not a good employee.
I feel that. I feel that's so hard. Yes. Yeah.
And so I was like, look, I've got to do this for myself. I've got to do this for me. And went all in, and quite frankly, that's how I ride today.
I love
because
it.
I'm like, listen, I gotta hustle or die trying. Because horses have to be in my life, and my mom actually passed last year, and they really got me through that. Like, the next day I'm at the barn and just like everything. It's so healing, and it's also makes you want to like pull all your hair out.
100%.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and like fear for their lives, because why do they all love to just try to die?
They're suicidal all the time.
All the time. And I'm like, okay, so now I just have more responsibility that I love.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of a little bit about me.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I feel like that in and of itself, we could just dive down so many different avenues.
Literally.
Because I've learned.
She's like speaking our language.
I mean, honest to God, because like I just learned so much about like really you as a soul, to be honest, like, because it's amazing that, you know, you kind of like from a young age, like really knew kind of your path and what you wanted, and you always like went after that. Yeah. And not a lot of people like can say that, you know?
I think honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I think that, and I think about this when I want to become a parent, right? I think that nothing was handed to me growing up. And I had to work really, really hard. And I think that set me up for the future of being able to do this, right? And, you know, learning like the value of hard work and what you put in, you get out. And also my trainer sees that in me as well, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities she gives me as well to, you know, ride some of her horses, and I'm actually riding one of them right now, and like the opportunity to do that. So I think just like really, really learning how to work hard. You get what you want.
And you learn that at such a young age, and that is just so valuable. Yeah. I feel like we should have your parents
like
on
not
here.
A thing
like, should they come on the pod and be like...
Well, R.I.P. Mom, but my dad
seems like he's got some experience.
I can just imagine your dad just sitting here talking to like, telling us all the stories.
Oh, he will tell you, he goes, I don't know, your mom always went to those shows. I just got the bill from Atlanta Saddlery.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, you know, you could have a tab
Shout out Atlanta
Saddlery. You could have a tab then. And
they have the trainer discount. Do they still do that?
Yes.
Do they?
They do. Oh, I haven't been in there in a while.
But yeah, I mean, I really think that growing up, horses... And it's funny because I have a lot of friends who have kids or are going to have kids. And it's like, they always have this fear about, my niece is 3 and I got her a saddle for her birthday. I'm like,
I do that with all of my nieces. I just got one of them, like the $80 plush ones.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're going to like horses.
You're going to like horses and auntie is going to take you to horse show. Like it's going to be fine. Exactly. But it's funny because my brother-in-law is like, oh, you know, like it's so expensive.
Like, no, thank you.
And I'm like, but you don't like the life lessons and the character that it it builds is just unbelievable. If you go to the right place, of course.
Yes.
You know, that's really important. It's not just, you know, you go to some of these barns and they tack up for you and they do everything for you.
The norm now, though. That is not.
I know.
Oh, it's such the norm. And to be quite frank, I see why sometimes it's necessary, right? We've got kids who've got 6 horses. They're doing 3 in the Eck, 1 at the Rolex ring. You know what I mean? And they have to, but I think it's just become the standard a lot of times when I see kids standing there while their horses are being groomed.
They're like waiting.
Yeah.
They're like on their phone like
this.
Yeah. And I'm like, what are they doing? And then I'm like, oh, wait, there's the groom. Just
and
oh, there's her horse.
And I feel like it's just, you know, I go, you know, it's really funny because I think people do go to the extreme of like, you know, the time that you spent with your horses, and we talk about really funny things like psychics and like,
I love psychic.
But I think that it's really important, you know, that time that you spend with them to tack them up, to groom them, you know, all of those things.
You know, like they're
who they are,
with their personalities, like their body language. I mean, it's so important. Like, how many times have you been grooming your horse and you watch them do something and you're like,
that's not right.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're looking and you're like, oh, your shoulder's kind of warm. Like, did you know, it's so important too, because then you go out and then you maybe feel something like that and you're like, okay, what do I need to do to help support my horse?
100%.
These people, you know, and God bless our grooms, like we could not do what we do.
Yeah, they really do. They're amazing.
Oh my God, we could not do what we do without them. But to make that all their responsibility when their job is to assist you and your job is to look after your animal.
100%.
You know, and you know, I have to give a lot of credit to one of my best friends, Catherine, who we met at the barn and just became, you know, really close. And she's one of my very best friends. And she's taught me so much getting back into it, right? Because these things you remember when you're younger. But you're getting back into it and you have these like almost muscle memory type memories, but you don't know what they mean or how it goes or whatever. So she's taught me so much, and she's probably the greatest horsewoman that I know. You know, in terms of just things to look for, things that the horses feel. Like, I'm obsessed with, I was actually last night looking up all of these different half pads that could potentially fit.
Oh my God, girl, it's me. I'm like, should I get my saddle fit again?
I know,
literally. Did he change? Now he's got more muscle. Like, should I do it again?
Yeah. I'm like, how can I support? I'm like, I need extra shims for the winder in. I need like just all.
Yeah.
I mean, all
oh my God. Yes.
I'm all over it, but it's because all I care about is the quality of my horse's life. Because if I'm gonna do what I need to do, they've got to be 100%.
Yeah.
You know, like I have to do my part. They're athletes. Like
100%.
They need their body work. They need their chiropractor. They need their like stretching we do with them.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm a psycho. Yeah.
So
supplement psycho.
Yeah.
Same.
She, you know, being the, you know, nurse and sciencey person. I mean, we went through a phase together because we got 2 babies at the same time from the same breeder.
Yeah.
And you're like, we are gonna figure this one out together.
Yes,
literally,
exactly.
we had no idea.
Right. So they were a year apart. Hers was 2, mine was 3. And so she got into like nutrition, like a crazy. And
because
I mean,
feeding
I'm so
a baby
thankful.
horse is different than feeding my you know, seasoned older, like
he can, warm blood.
He can eat, like literally he can eat air and he's fat.
Or Skittles.
Yes.
Like they can have like one Skittle and you're like,
the warm blood, no problem. I'm like, I don't care what he eats. Like, and I do. I love him, but I'm like, he'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
Like this young one that's growing and has bones that have to like form and heal and close those growth plates. I became a psychopath.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm thankful because I reaped all the benefits of it. And she did all the research.
You're Catherine, you're me. Literally. I'm Catherine's like, I'm doing this for this. I'm like, same.
Yeah, I'm doing that too. I'm for sure doing that.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
That is literally me and Catherine. It is so funny. Yeah, she'll be like, I got this because I found that like just even things like vitamin E.
Oh.
Yes. Oh yeah, we're like, we could go on a whole thing. But just these little things that you can do and you watch the impact it makes on your horses. Yeah. It's such a good feeling because you're like, I'm in charge of you and
it's working.
Yeah. We're like, I'm a scientist.
Yeah. Okay, so when you came back into horses as an adult, did you have, I mean, I know you found Sharon, so you felt, you know, really supported, really inspired, but were there any like reservations or fears or anxieties that you had?
Oh my gosh. have you ever, I mean, the only way I can describe it is if you were like a professional biker as a child, and then you get on the bike and you like fall over when you try to go full speed. Yeah, it was really frustrating for me when I first got back into it, if I'm being honest. It was a lot of like, oh, why am I not just doing that? Because my brain knows exactly what to do, but why is my leg not there? Why am I doing this? Like, why is my core, you know, all the things, and it gets really frustrating.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's really important to be surrounded by people who remind you, like, hey, it's okay. You know, maybe I just came back from riding or whatever, and just having that support system, or else it really is easy to be like, ugh, this isn't for me.
Right.
But, you know, especially having a trainer like Sharon, who is like, look, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And I ask her all the questions, and I'm sure it drive her crazy, but she is so good at explaining things to me and understanding the horses that I just felt like if I could get as much time with Sharon as I possibly could, you know, because you come in and they're like, oh, okay, like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know.
You feel awkward, like being the new, the new girl, and they're like sussing you out, like what's her level, and like she says she's a horse girl, but what does that really mean?
And also I was like a fire horse girl, and then all of a sudden I come in and I'm like, oh my god, I can't find a distance to a cross rail. Like, what is happening? So
the smaller they are, the harder it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
like, there's too much room to like maybe take an extra step.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah. Like me trying to find a pole. Me trying to find a pole. I like miss it every time. My trainer's like, "What's going on?"
I know, like a 3-stride rail. Sharon's like, "Don't worry, just get to the jump."
Yeah.
Like, your horse is smart enough. Your horse has been trained.
Yeah.
Like, and also horses in general, like they know.
They're going to self-preserve.
Yes. We get too busy sometimes trying to tell them what to do.
Oh,
even if they're green, you know, they're smart.
They have some instinct.
Yes.
But we're like, no, they don't.
Yeah. We're like, ah! Like so scared, pulling to nothing.
Oh, like pulling their teeth out, and you're just like,
and see nothing.
See nothing and pull.
That oxer looks like way bigger than I thought it did. Pull.
Pull.
Yes. And one of my favorite things that my trainer said to me was, we were warming up at Tryon, and I came around the corner and I hadn't seen her in like a little bit, and so I was like, I'm gonna like really impress her because I want to show her how I want to show her how hard I've been working. And so I come around the corner. I don't know if you know those warm-up rings at Tryon. They're about this big.
Yeah.
And so you have like 3 steps to
figure it out.
Make a turn. And so I turn and I was like, nailed it. And she's like, what was that? And I was like, oh, I thought I like closed it up. And she goes, I want you to come around the corner and run at the jump. That's exactly what I want you to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, I did it. And she's like, that's exactly what I want you to do. Just come around the corner and run right at the jump. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And in that moment, that definition of that taught me what pace meant. And keeping pace through the turn. And ever since then, I'm like, so have enough canter.
Yeah.
But don't change it.
And then you're at the jump.
Yeah.
Instead of, okay, oh my God, we're far away.
Yeah.
You know? So it's so funny, like certain things, she just knows how to talk to me. But like getting back into riding, I mean, it's daunting.
Yeah.
It's I highly recommend if you're an adult Ammy to find a barn that has a few others.
Yes.
Because it's a community.
The community is crucial.
Oh, crucial. Like you will... You know, because I will say, I think it's a very difficult sport in the sense of you have to be 100% tuned into your animal.
Yeah.
For the safety of what you're doing, for the reason you're doing it. Like, what are you doing if you're not 100% locked into what you're doing?
Right. Yeah.
And also things could go wrong, you know, if you and your horse are not on the same page. And so it's really important to be like locked in with them. So I think having that group around you of people who are similar, whether they're Ammies or whatever, and just being like, you've got this, like, let's help you center. You're going to go in the rink. You know how to ride.
Right.
And one of my favorite people who also, her name's Sydney, she said something to me. We were at WEC and I'm like about to go into the ring. Like, for what reason? I have no idea. I'm doing the 9-0s on like a jumper that like could.
Been there, done that.
Like I could close my eyes.
Yeah.
And she's like, Carly, I don't know how to tell you this, but it's just horseback riding. Like,
you're like, no, it's not.
We're just jumping sticks.
She's like, it's literally just horseback riding. We're not going to the Olympics. We're not like solving,
curing cancer.
Like you're just gonna go out there and jump the jump. So calm down. And so I always think
that makes me feel better. Like
every time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna she gets really intense at
shows. Yeah, I'm
at
kind
horse
of a
shows.
bitch.
She's such a bitch, and
you are a little like Catherine, and then no, because Catherine's she is on it. Like nothing can stop her.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah,
don't. It's and it's she's
okay. I'm a little bit more like that. Sorry, I'm a little more I gotta get in the zone. Nobody.
Yeah.
Can
Oh my God.
me.
The anxiety just goes to 10, and then my attitude just goes to
and she's really snappy, and she's like, I need this, and I'm grooming for her, and I'm like, oh my God,
that is me. Catherine's like, what do you need? I'm like, I can't find my gloves. And I'm freaking out.
And then I'm tacking up, and she's like, are you okay? Okay.
No, okay, yes, that is.
I'm like, I'm good. I'm back here. I'm fine. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go watch my trips. I'm like, okay.
I'm watching Clip My Horse. I'm watching who's in front of me. I'm watching to see what they do. That's what I'm doing.
I
am in the zone. I'm at the ring. I'm watching the person before me, the 3 people before me. I'm watching the people after me. I'm like, how do I compare?
Yeah. God forbid someone falls off. I gotta walk away.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. When she was right before she showed one weekend, this girl hospitalized.
Okay. Well, that was first of all, a totally different scenario. So just in a nutshell, my horse had EPM.
Okay.
And
gotta love possum brain.
Gotta love it. And he fell down after a fence. Not just kind of fell. I looked all the way to the ground on his side. I look behind me, and my horse is just laying there, and I'm like, it's a really traumatizing experience.
Yeah.
And so I was showing my other horse. We went to Aiken and showed at Stableview for the thoroughbred championships, and this girl, first of all, you put a bunch of thoroughbreds together, and it's
what's happening?
It's
have you seen the flat classes at Will's when they're all running?
Yeah.
It's
and it's
I'll walk, and they're cantering around.
Yeah.
They can't stop.
It's madness. So I
love them though. Love a thoroughbred.
Yeah. Yes. And so I want to be in the warm up ring. I jump one thing and I'm good to go. And so this person, I don't know, they were in the jumpers and I don't know what they were jumping, but her horse rotated.
Oh my God.
And I was literally walking into the warm up ring, already anxiety is high, and I see this person I see the horse rotate and this woman fall, and it lands on her, and I'm just
screaming.
She's screaming. There's an ambulance. It's a whole thing. And I'm
and you're and I'm next.
And I'm next. Yes. And I'm walking around, and she's sitting on the golf cart. It's fine.
I don't have a thoroughbred, so I was just
she's it's fine. Why are you worried? And I'm she's
you walked away from me.
Yeah, I had to walk away from her because she could give 2 shits less. And
I cared about the girl. I was do I need to go over there as a medical professional?
Yeah.
And then, the ambulance came really
Everyone's
fast.
is there a nurse around?
You're in the golf. She every horse show she wears this huge sun hat, and she's
she's I don't know. I've never.
I would have gone.
No,
she's
the
ambulance came.
No, the ambulance came. She is a very good medical professional. She's my doctor.
If it were her, honestly. I would have run out there and been CPR.
Yeah,
you would have. But people were handling it.
Yes.
So you just didn't need to get involved. No, I could see you.
Yes.
You're anyone need me? I'm there.
Yes.
You guys got it. I'm gonna sit here in my visor.
If someone's having a heart attack on the plane,
oh yeah, she's there.
She's there 100%.
Am I?
You might be.
I don't know anything about adults.
I'm
a kid person.
You figure it out. If there was a plane and there was not a single medical professional on there, you would do it.
You would do it.
I would do it.
We're giving you credit here.
Yeah,
you would do it.
You would definitely do it. But yeah, so I think that, again, horse showing is just such a...
Is the anxiety worse as an adult, you think? Or are we just
am
I a little bit more afraid to die than a kid?
So I think the anxiety is different. And I will explain that because I'm a big mental health advocate. I'm a big, very big into mental health.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think the juniors in this day and age, I don't know how they have any mental sanity because between social media is killing their little brains.
I know.
It is killing their little brains, and it's a lot, and it's difficult because, and I feel we always call it, Catherine and I we're the barn moms to our kids. We have our little sisters.
Yeah.
And we have so many of them, and a lot of them were just at indoors. And these things are so competitive. They're deciding where they're going to college and stuff like that. So this pressure is just so immense. And then their Instagrams have to be a portfoleo.
They have to. It's it's intense.
And it's so intense. So they're learning how to do social media management. They're learning how to, be videographers and make things look
literally.
Like they're being influencers essentially, which is what I do. So I understand how much work goes into that, right? And so they're doing that on top of that, knowing that every single move they make is on clip my horse.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, trainers are going to look at that, or like, colleges are going to look at that, just all these pressures. And then you got how nasty kids are.
Yeah.
So mean.
Oh my God.
It's not just like, I wanted to get into college. I want to get into this college. And like, I want this coach to see me. It's like, I also have to win to get to that point.
Yeah.
And then I'm competing against other kids with either nicer animals or different animals or
history, because there's a lot of politics in it as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's really difficult for them. So then as an Ammy, you're like really scared for different reasons.
I mean, you're like, I'm just here. I don't know.
I'm like, I don't care if I win or lose. I mean, it's nice.
Well, it is nice. And like,
die.
I do kind of want like my show bill to maybe be a little less expensive.
100%.
Like, so sometimes I'm like, I kind of wanted to win that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And I think that like, the juniors have nerves of steel. Like, I
feel like they just like,
I think they disassociate. I think they have to. Because I think that they, actually one of my, and we'll talk about mindset, and this we were kind of talking about that. My trainer actually texted me when they were at indoors. I can't remember if they were doing, I don't know what they were doing. They might have been doing the Dovers. I have no idea. But she texted me and she's like, so-and-so just told me that you make her feel really calm at shows. And it was one of the kids. And it's because she has, they all have anxiety, right?
Yeah, we all do.
Right. And so she just gets a little in her head, and she's a good rider. And so I'm like, look, I want you to do this. And I do this with my team of women that I lead. So if I didn't mention that before, I share products on social media and affiliate marketing, and I have a team of a few thousand women, and I teach them to do the same, right? And a lot of that is mindset. You're putting yourself out there. You're 100%. Getting outside of your comfort zone. And so I spoke to her, and I sat there with her as she's on her horse at the end gate, and I was like, I need you to look at me, and I need you to tell me 3 things. Well, actually, I think I said 5 because I wanted to make it difficult. I said, I want you to tell me 5 things that you think that you're good at riding horses. And it was hard for her to think. She's like, I don't know, because you're focusing on all the things that you're like afraid to mess up. And I gave her a really good example, and I actually used this example with my team. I said, okay, so for example, let's remove all that. Where does your horse go? When you're riding your horse, where does your horse go?
Where you want him to go.
Where you're looking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So whatever you're looking at, whatever you're focusing on is, you're right. Right. So if you go in
you're
there,
manifesting that.
Yep. So whatever you say, you're right. So you go in there, I can't do this. I can't do that. That's going to be hard for me. I might miss a lead change there, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That is going to happen.
That is going to happen.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, but what do we know? Because there's what we feel and what we know. There's a lot of people in jail for murdering people because of things that they felt.
Yeah.
Not things that they knew. Right. And so I'm like, there's what we feel and what we know. So what do you know about yourself? You're a fantastic rider. You can ride all different kinds of horses. You can find the jumps easily. You've jumped this 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those things.
Yeah.
And so, and as soon as we did that, I'm like, let's take a few deep breaths, and then you're going to walk in the ring, and you're going to go out there and do what you came here to do.
Damn.
And, and so I think it's like, and I have to do that with myself.
Yeah.
Rituals. I think rituals are so important. And I think that they can make or break, your mindset in the ring, and your mindset is directly correlated to your horses, like an ability to go out there and do what they need to do.
Yeah. And I think the mindset, it honestly like stems so much from who you surround yourself with, like what barn you're in, like, who's your trainer, like what are they telling you?
Oh my gosh. Your support system.
Like that are there with you. Like that is so important. And I mean, I know that in the past 2 years, I've gone through a lot of different changes with like who I'm with, and I have my horses at home now, but yeah, I mean, it's just kind of crazy how much that impacts you.
Oh my gosh.
And if you're feeling any kind of tension, and I kind of felt that like last horse show, where this whole season, I feel like we had done so well, and this was like going to be like my last horse show. And I was like, okay, like we're going to go in there and like crush it. And like, I don't know, I was having some weird vibes from, your gut was telling you something. My gut was telling me something, and I went in there, and what I do when I get nervous is I just like ask for the long distance.
Oh,
I just launch.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
When I get nervous, I just pull to nothing, and then my horse is like, you're welcome.
Yeah. So I'm like asking for all of these distances, and like I come out of the ring, and like my trainer's like,
what was that?
Did you ask for that? It was like 100%. 100%. I
Don't you love that when you're like, did you want that? And you're like,
yes, I did.
No, yes, I did
I
ask for that.
I did. I want it? No. But did I ask for it?
Is that what I saw at the time?
Yep.
I did the best I could.
You know what? I'm just doing the best I can.
Yeah.
So, but then I did my second trip and I went in and redeemed myself and everything was fine. But like, it's just that like slight gut feeling of that little bit of off, like really like affected me. I was like,
so do you want to know the last time I had that gut feeling? I'm cantering around at WEC, jumper 1. No, jumper 2, don't worry. Cantering around, had that feeling. I even looked at my trainer, I was like, I don't know, something's wrong with me. Like I was like having a lot of anxiety and she was like, Carly, and I was like, maybe I need to go take some of my hydroxyzine. I have I love hydroxyzine. So I'm like, maybe I need to go take some of that. She's like, before you ride, no way. So I'm like, okay. So I'm cantering around. I don't even make it to the first jump. I just fall off.
Oh my God.
I told you I wasn't ready.
But not anything to do with the horse. Just truly, I just go off.
Yeah.
I just like, and I'm like, okay, see, I knew I wasn't ready. I knew I could, like, was just not in a position at that moment. And since then, my trainer has been like, all right, let's go get that medicine.
Yep, right.
Yes.
So,
you know,
guys,
cause she's like, we've never done a show like that. You know, she's learning me too, right?
100%.
And so now she's like, she'll say, she's like, has it worn off if I start to get a little anxious?
100%.
And so, you know, I just always want to do my best job for the horses, because if I'm anxious and I'm like that, then of course it's not going to go right.
Yeah, right.
And
no, 100%.
The vibe is going to be off every single time because you're so in your head about like what you're feeling rather than just like,
and then your horse is like,
shut it down and
why are you like pinching at your knee? Like, what do we?
No. And go ahead.
No, that makes me feel like so much better because I go to horse shows and my trainer's like, did you take your medicine? And I'm like,
I love that.
Yeah, I take propranolol, which is like a stage fright drug.
Okay, I take propranolol. The best way to show. 1 propranolol.
Yes.
30 minutes to an hour before you ride.
Yeah.
Bam. No fears. No thoughts. You go in there. You deliver.
Like my heart rate can't even race because the drug is like, no.
The drug is like, relax. Okay. Beta blockers. If you're an adult Ammy and have anxiety, beta blockers, propranolol. Get a prescription. It's not hard.
Do it.
And it's not addictive.
It's not harmful. It's not like taking a Xanax and you're like gonna be like out of your mind, falling off because you're not with it. Like I literally live by this stuff. I have it and I literally am obsessed with it.
Guys, I really think this is the relatability that I think everybody, I think I may. When I had to circle in the line this past horse show, Alexis, I really thought I was like, yeah, that's why I said I launched into the line, and then I was like,
and then you're like, whoa,
so discombobulated
out of it.
And I was like, I'm circling in the ring, and I was like, should I just leave? Like, should I just?
I know.
Go?
Don't you love that? You're like, wow, this was a wash.
I know.
Yeah. Or when you have like the first rail and you're like in the, oh my God, like when you're up for champion, you go in, you're like, this is the round. All I gotta do is double clear. Yep. Like, and you go in and then first rail, and I'm like,
all right, well,
I might as well walk out of the race.
Like, we're done.
Literally.
But you know your trainer would like murder you if you did
She would be like, who cares?
Don't be embarrassing.
Like, you came here to ride. Go ride. Like,
go ride.
Yeah.
Thing that a lot of people
do not talk about.
No one talks about it. But also, just by the way, like propranolol is a beta blocker. It is traditionally for high blood pressure. Yeah. So it helps reduce the physical symptoms of anxiety. So it's not addictive, really great. And if you just have performance anxiety, also including public speaking, like
that's what it was originally used for, was public speaking. You take it, people go up there and do their speeches. Like I'm sure every president has had one. Yeah. And I don't want to know if it's a lie. Like don't lie. We all know you need something.
Look,
Chloe K loves a beta blocker.
She sure does.
Does she?
She sure does. And you know, it's funny. We're getting a little off message, but like, you know, I was talking to somebody about Taylor Swift and her like Eras tour, like, and what the kind of concoction of medications and drugs she is probably performance enhancers.
Really?
I've
never thought of that.
because they were saying that like there's no way like a human being could like physically run at that level without some kind of like help.
Is she doing the good old?
I mean, I don't know what the concoction is, but I'm sure it's.
We all need a little help.
I'm sure it's just an NAD infusion constantly,
probably.
which I have been loving. Also, guys, I have to do a plug here. I'm so sorry, but it helps me tremendously. So I've had 2 shoulder injuries from horses doing
the first time when you were 8, you fell off in the puddle.
Oh yes, but exactly. So it started a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
But in the last 2 years, I've had 2 pretty bad shoulder injuries just from some flips that went on, and I have been taking a recovery blend from Regen MD, which is in Atlanta, and there's a peptide in there, and it's for basically like repairing muscle fibers and all this stuff. So like when we're talking equitation and just being able to ride normally in general, I was riding like this. Like I literally couldn't get my shoulders up. They were jammed forward and dislocated like up into my thing. So once I got that handled, all those muscle fibers were still stuck. So like the same way that we're treating our horses with getting them everything that they need.
Like massage, chiro.
We've got to do the same.
We're athletes. Yeah. Like we're doing the exact same
100%.
thing. And so I have to like give it to that peptide specifically for the fact that my 2 shoulders in the last 10 weeks have like made a dramatic difference. The way that I can literally put them back and use them and then utilize the rest of my body. So that's my little plug. But like,
where can people find it?
So at Regen, REGEN MD, I think it's an underscore after it on Instagram. Yeah. And they can take a free consultation thing. Amazing. Also, if you mention my name, that's all free.
Amazing.
But I mean, truly like that. And I have a fat burner one because like trying to get like really hot. But you know, there are all sorts of things. But besides that, the recovery, like crazy difference in my inflammation in my body, everything, which we go through so much as riders.
Like, my God,
it's true.
Yeah, we have to take care of ourselves. So sorry, that's my little plug.
No, I think that's great. I mean, I'm on peptides as well. Cannot live without them. So
I can't live without them. I love a peptide.
I even take a peptide right now.
You're a doctor. I don't know.
I'll take the fat burner one after this baby comes out.
Oh yeah, I have friends who just had babies and they're like, once I'm done breastfeeding, it is ready. Over for all of you. Like
hot girl summer, we're coming.
I'm literally like, okay, so what's the plan for after this?
Yeah. So when am I gonna get a horse? Yes. When am I? Yeah, all the things. Game plan.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
I'm ready.
Yeah. And we were just talking about the struggle she's having with not being able to ride.
Are you losing your mind?
Yes.
Are you going crazy?
Yeah, like I go out and I pet them, but like
And she's having other people ride them and then getting interpretations, and she's like mentally trying to like figure all of that out in her head, and she's like,
I'm like, well, I just want to feel it. Like, what do you like you're talking about my horse who I know very well, and you're saying like, oh, he's like getting grumpy when this person rides him versus this person riding him.
Sounds like their fault.
And I'm like, I just want to ride him.
It's like a personal problem.
Just let me do it.
Oh God, so funny. It's tough.
The last time I rode, I was, I don't know how many weeks I was. I was like far along.
It's the time you fell off.
No, I rode after that. I lied.
No, she rode her like literally 26-year-old warm blood who's like basically like retired almost.
One of my warm bloods that I'm riding right now, the Sharon's, is 23, and you can't stop her. But she wants to work. She was an old FEI. She was a World Cup jumper for Chile. Yeah. She you can't stop her. Yeah. She wants to work forever. Is that how yours is?
Yes. Yeah. You cannot it is his born right in this world to be ridden.
He does the greatest job now. He has a older adult amateur that he packs around in silver stirrup. And
he's so happy.
Oh, he's so happy. He loves it. They win.
I want to do it.
Champion every weekend.
I'm not old enough to be a silver stirruper, but I cannot wait because I will do it on him as long as I don't ride him bareback while I'm pregnant and go to the hospital.
I mean, that wasn't the best idea. She was bareback and pregnant, and she's like, oh, I'm just gonna
I was walking.
I'm just gonna hop on.
Yeah,
I was walking and he saw something. He wasn't underneath me anymore.
Yeah.
And there I was.
And there we are.
On the ground.
Highly
recommend if you're pregnant, do what you feel you can do.
But don't push it.
maybe push it. I don't know.
I don't know.
She was like, "You're such an idiot. Don't ride again." And then I was like, "Okay, I won't." But I definitely rode my 4-year-old. Like,
yeah.
And then like 2 days ago or yesterday, she's like, "I'm just gonna get on him," the 4-year-old, and I'm like, I mean, she's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do it." I'm like, "Okay."
This would be Catherine. She's gonna definitely get
so
pregnant
hard.
before I am. And I'm like, well, you know, and then we have like Washington and da-da-da-da. And she's like, well, I can still ride.
Yeah. I'm not like broken.
She's like, I can still ride. I'm like, you're not doing a 1.15 classic on your greatest jumper in the whole world who like wants to win everything is so perfect, because between the two of you, like, no, you're gonna die purely because you both are like, we got this, we're gonna do it. Like, you cannot be 7 months pregnant doing that, okay? I'm like, I'm fine with if you're early, but like, no, we're not doing it, even though like she is the least scary rider. You know what I mean? Like just so technical,
your
so
mindset
perfect.
when you're a horse girl is like, I want to ride. I love it. You can't stop me.
You can't stop me.
Since I was a kid, I'm sick, but I want to go to the barn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
I am
My
like
horse needs
that.
me.
Yes.
But like in being pregnant, it's such a mind F, because in the beginning I was like, I'm just going to ride all the way through. Like, it's totally fine. And then
that's literally Catherine.
Yeah.
and then you think you're like, yeah, I'm going to ride all the way through. I'm going to still show.
Like, I'm so strong.
No one's
I'm
gonna
gonna keep up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm at the stage where I am now, and I'm like, okay, like, there's just like the plan. There's like a no return here.
Yeah.
How does Dad feel about?
He's super cool.
Yeah.
He like rock climbs, mountain climbs, tries to kill himself, goes to Idaho to like
love that.
shoot elk. And
Yes,
he's never
mine's a
been.
hunter too. So he's like, I love that you have an activity that requires you to be gone a lot. Like, same.
We heard.
And that's how it works.
Yes.
And he's like, I support you in your body, and if you need it for your mental health, you need to ride. But like, everyone else is like, no.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Everyone else.
Like,
Like, my mom was pissed. I lied to her. Sorry, Mom. Like, I was like, I definitely am not riding. And
I'm not riding.
Definitely was.
No, I'm definitely not riding my 4-year-old.
No, I'm definitely
But he's
definitely
just
not
so
doing that.
sweet.
He's so good. We have 2 appendixes that we got together.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, they're the best.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just. Mine was 4 when I got him, and I was 8, and you just could do no wrong.
Could do no wrong.
God, they're just bred so well. And I know if I have a child one day, God willing, or if that's the plan, I am definitely starting them as an eventer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I am. I can't do that to a young child. They can do the hunter jumpers if they want to later, right? But I think like that horsemanship and learning. And like,
so what's your opinion on that? Like, why like, you're a hunter jumper,
Yes.
you ride at, a top show barn.
yes.
Why would you, what is your like advice for people having kids or your kids in your future?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that you say you wouldn't put them in a hunter barn, like knowing that you ride at a hunter barn?
Yes. So I am grateful for my team, right, and the things that I do, but I wholeheartedly believe that I would really like my child to learn the 3 phases, right?
Yeah.
The dressage, show jumping, and cross country, because I think they both, they all require a large set of skills that I think
it's intense.
Yes, it is. And I think a lot of people underestimate, well, first of all, you're galloping through a field in cross country and trying not to die, so you are forced to find a distance,
right?
And oh my gosh, I don't even know how my parents let me do that as a child.
No,
I'm like, you really strapped me with a bulletproof vest and sent me on my way.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that's interesting,
right?
But that dressage part, I think, is so key.
Yeah.
It's something that I think is not. Of course, it's not as focused on, right, in this hunter jumper world, because we and it should.
But it's the foundation.
It's the foundation. It should be, and I'm grateful. I mean, oh God, I just had to do. I showed up at the wrong time yesterday to the barn, and I just had to get in with all the kids that just got back from indoors. I'm in this equitation flat lesson, and I'm like looking at my trainer and go, "Can one of your adult children please go get some water?" And she's like, "Carly, you can go get water." Like, so it's just, but I like to be involved in that, right? Because I like to continue doing flat work.
Yes.
That's such a foundational thing for our barn, but I don't know if Sharon's going to be wanting to train my kids. So, you know what I mean? So my hope is for them to go to, if they're interested, to go do that and really get the foundational stuff around dressage and show jumping and having fun cross country. Cause it was just, honestly, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. And it was a lot less pressure. Yeah. And then, but if they're a really good rider and that's what they want to do, I just want them to be happy, but I want them to focus on less on, hunters, you're judging the nicest horse. And a lot of times that comes with the price that was paid for it. Right. And my friend Catherine has this incredible baby that she's built up and was like number one in the leading the greens and the 3-3s last year for a really long time. And he wasn't the $2 million horse that was bought, right? Like she truly made him. Yeah. And I love that, but also she started as an eventer. Yeah. And so we have a lot of background in flat work and dressage, and it's one of our favorite things because, some of the kids will be like to ask us questions or, on top of stuff that our trainers have taught us. And we're like, well, it's this, and this. They're like, how do you know that? And we're like, well, because we grew up doing it. That's all we did was dressage. And so I think that's the thing. And also just like social media in this day and age, it's the same reason that a lot of people want to homeschool their kids. Yeah. It's just, there's a lot of things. I love the hunter jumper world. I think the children are just a little bit out of control.
Yeah, they're intense.
And also like, I don't know if we get into it on this, but the eating disorders that come out of that as well. Really, really sad. So like, you'll hear little things here and there that the kids say, and Catherine and I are really great at like catching that and being like, hey,
don't get into that right now.
Yeah, that's not like a thing. You don't need to make that comment about your body. Like,
for sure.
You're strong, you're fit, just kind of like rewriting that stuff for them. Yeah. Because they look to us like big sisters.
Oh, for sure.
And they're not talking to their parents about that, So we also feel like we have a really good duty to do that. But yeah, I mean, I just loved growing up in the eventing world. I think I'm just biased. If I had never.
Yeah. I think it's just like, honestly, I went and I shot for, a FEI dressage rider, and I went and sat in, and she just bought a new stallion, and I went and sat in on a clinic that she did, and it was like the most incredible experience because I've never gotten to be really up close and gotten to see like a real Grand Prix horse work and like how it works and how they're working their ass off. Yeah, it's insane. But flat work is just
the true foundation.
Yeah,
I mean, well, okay, so we'll talk about that for actual second if we have time for that, because I think that that's a big thing that people do not understand. And it's definitely something I didn't understand coming back into it as an adult.
Right.
I honestly, when you're first getting started, you're like, well, I just want to jump. And I just want to jump. Well, I've done that, so I want to jump bigger, and I want to do this and that, whatever. And it's taken a long time, and I hope that all adult Ammies are listening to this who are maybe feeling in that space where they're, why can't I move up? Why can't I, whatever? And one thing that I've always heard, and that Sharon's always said, she's like, I don't care if it's if it's a 70, 0.70 like course, or if it's a 1.50 meters, you ride it the exact same. So I don't care if we're at home doing 2-foot jumps. I want to see that rollback. I want to see the inside turn. I want to see all that, and I want it to come up nicely. And that to me is flat work.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
all
so,
it is. Yeah,
because now put those jumps up and do the exact same thing, and you're right there. But people don't think that. They think they see these smaller jumps, and they're not
practicing.
Yeah, they're like, well, how am I supposed to go out and do XYZ? When that's just not how it works. That's not the foundation of what we're doing. And if you don't, so I encourage everyone to understand that, to master 100%. And that doesn't mean, well, we're getting over the jumps fine. No, it's, are you finding your distances nicely into that? Do you have control through the short or the long lines?
Are you using your corners?
How is your pace through your turns? Are you coming up on a half stride? Those are all really important things that matter at the lowest of low levels.
Absolutely.
And that have to carry into the higher levels, or else because guess what, the room for error goes like this. And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and it also becomes very dangerous. And it can become dangerous. And we just had a friend who had a rotational fall in a flat class at WEC, and so thankfully he's completely fine, but we're flatting. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
So just let's relax a little bit, right? And I had to have this conversation with myself. Catherine had to have the conversation with me. Catherine probably should have just freaking been on this podcast.
Honestly. I feel like she's here in spirit.
She is in spirit.
Next time.
She can come next time.
But, I think it people get so ahead of themselves, even juniors, and it's well, listen, my trainer, she wants to see you perfect. Have you seen those people in like the meter 10s and you're like, oh my.
Oh, absolutely. Like you shouldn't be in there.
It's like I have more anxiety like watching them than I do actual showing.
Yeah, same. I'm like, oh. And so when I moved up to the meter 10s for the first time, like I did the same thing you did. I was in the warm-up ring freaking out. Freaking out. And it was the classic because I hadn't done the first two. So I was like, can you give me a shot, Sharon? I think I can really do this. And she was like, all right, I went up to bat for you. Like, here we go. Are you ready? And these girls were riding side by side. And I was coming off a short turn to like an outside jump. And I go, can you guys get out of the way? I was like, you're riding side by side. There's no room. Get off the rail. And I like fully screamed. And Sharon's like, hey, you're good, right? You're good.
Okay.
Like, and I'm like, yeah, they just won't get out of my way. Like I turned into a monster because I'm like, look, we're
anxiety.
We're all here trying to do our best. Like, let's just have a little bit of respect.
Yeah. So, one time I was in a flat class and it was like, I swear to God, I think there was like
in
20,
the flat class?
Literally this like kid like cut me off and I was like, what the fuck? and my trainer was like, I was so pissed at me. But it was terrible. It was like a natural reaction, unfortunately. Yeah. I was like, can you not cut
That's
me
what
off?
You didn't say what the fuck. You said, can you not?
Oh my God.
All bougie and Kelly.
Can you not?
I mean, I was like,
oh, that's what I said too. I go, can you not stand on the rail, please? Like screaming at them. I'm like, get the, or I'll go, heads up, get out of the way. I don't care. I'm like, if you're standing in front of my jump talking to your trainer, I'm coming right at you.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way. Yeah. Have a little respect.
I know, man.
Have a little respect in the warm-up ring. It's brutal out there. It is horrifying. I fear for my life in the warm-up ring.
So bad.
I'm like, get me in. I'm jumping like one or two things and I'm out.
No,
I'm out.
I just want to go in the ring. My anxiety doesn't want me to be in the warm-up ring. I need to be using this horse in there.
The warm-up ring is way worse than, I mean, I walk into the show, I walk into the end gate and I feel like
everything goes silent.
It's
you
all
can't
silent. You can't hear anything. And I'm like, all right, let's LFG.
You look down and you go, it's just you and me.
100%, every time. And I talk to my horse throughout the entire course.
You can hear me in the videos.
Me too.
Yeah, and I'm like, you'll hear me, I'll go, good girl, Mia, or good, thank you. I'll talk, or I'll be like, all right, we gotta get it together.
Yes.
Come back to me.
I do the same thing, and literally, people that are videoing me, they're just laughing because they're like, oh my God.
Oh, or when so yesterday we were doing a skinny to a really tight turn, and thank God you didn't need a lead change kind of thing. If you did, you were going to be in the fence, right? And he jumped it perfectly and knew his job, so he was like, all right, left. Turn. And I just held the mane and I go, oh fuck me, like that. And I was off, and I'm with the only other people with me and my trainer were 3 kids that were standing there watching me go, waiting. And she goes, what'd you say after that jump? I said, I don't know. She said, the kid said, you said, fuck something. And I said, I went, fuck me.
Yeah.
But I scream it when I do it.
And
all
you don't
the kids
even know you're doing it because you're just
you don't.
I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah, I don't. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Or you'll hear me, and if I don't see a distance straight, I'll go, Jesus Christ. As my horse fixes it for me, who is God sent. I mean, the 23-year-old, she's like, I've been here. Okay. Just put your hands on my mane. Hold on, I got this.
Yeah,
God bless them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, I feel like we could talk for a million years, but my last question for you is, I want to know, so if you could go back, or if somebody was in your position, you were coming back into the horse world as an adult, and they came to you and they were looking for advice, what would you tell them?
Yes. So I want everyone to have a good experience with riding. I think that when people come to me, because I get this question a lot, and I think they look at kind of what I share on social media, which is a lot of highlights, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, cool, I can do that. Maybe that looks fun. And so I think people really miss the part of that horsemanship, right? So I always tell people, I'm like, look for a barn that 1, cares about their horses, 2, the trainer cares about their people learning and having fun, right? And then 3, look for a barn that has a good group of amateurs, because it's going to be way more fun if you have got your group of people with you who are all trying to figure it out together. Yeah. Because if not, then you're looking at these kids and you're comparing to the way that they hold their bodies. I mean, child ec is very different than the rest.
So different.
Right? So it's like find do people find that support, and I mean, really do what feels right. If it doesn't feel right and you feel like weird, and you're not feeling built up in confidence, it's not easy, right?
No.
Like, it's not going to always be simple and easy and you're going to come out and just perfect everything, but have a place and find a place that's worth it on the hard days that build you up and make you want to come back and learn more.
Yeah. I love that. That's a great answer. I mean, honestly, and you're definitely coming back. So I feel like
we have so much to talk about.
We didn't even get to like half the things we wanted to talk about.
No, we didn't get to talk about clothes. Like we have to talk about
we talked
about
fashion.
Clothes.
We didn't talk about social media. That's not, we brushed on it a little bit, but I think that's a whole topic.
How do I become an independent?
How do we become? Well, we all want to know.
How do I make money for horses like on top of my job?
Yeah, she's really.
I'm like, I've got to
really
pay for these.
We got to pay the bills. We gotta do things.
Yeah.
So, interesting. I'm also trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Funny enough, I think every person at this table is also trying to figure that out.
Trying to figure out how to monetize our horse world.
Yeah.
I think just being in the influencer space in general, I would love to see some of the horse companies and websites go on to LTK, give us like a affiliate program.
I agree.
Some real things.
I agree.
Because I don't know. I think it's just a little more difficult because people in the horse world aren't so aware of like the power of micro influencers, 100%. Right? The power that you guys would have on this and not having 3 million followers. That's not where people are buying stuff from.
No. And it's interesting because I, own a marketing agency, and then KB Media Equine is a branch of that. And so the equine marketing in and of itself is so far behind. And so it's a market that's really untapped. And I feel like, but also they are stuck in a different time.
Yes.
So, I mean, we could talk about that like for next episode for sure. But so tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram. I don't even go to my TikTok, by the way. Shocked I even said that. Don't do that. But Instagram, I'm all over there. Carly.Durst. That's CARLY which is a period, Durst, Durst. And I'm all over there, share all my horse stuff.
Love it.
And especially riding clothes too.
Yeah.
I have.
What's your favorite? Quick.
Pants. Favorite pants are Equeline.
Okay.
The new ones, not the low rise. Can't do a low rise.
No.
Oh wait, sorry. Actually, Crenier. It's a new independent small brand. CREINERE. They fit incredibly. They were modeled after putting basically Equeline and Dada together. Because I used to love Dada, but then the pants are too high and then you're like lower belly, just kind of not my fave. Yeah. Right? But I love Dada. All my shirts are Dada.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff. But Crenier pants, amazing. They have the most beautiful tan color.
Okay.
And they're a small business. She found me at WEC and was like, can I, I want you to try these. What size are you? I want to give you some. If you like them, then you can just Venmo me or something.
Yeah.
And I want 10 more pairs. They're the only ones that I ever want to wear schooling or riding.
You can show them. You can show in them.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, the tan ones. They're my favorite to show in, so I need to order like 3 more. And they're not crazy expensive. I got 2 pairs for $300.
Oh, wow.
No, and they look better than like all
the Equelines,
oh my God.
Are like 300
Yes, they're like mid-ish high in the front so that it covers the and then it goes higher in the back.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, we need to get on that.
We'll have a whole fashion episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
For sure.
We need it.
I love it.
All right, well,
thank you so much. Coming.
Oh my God, of course. Thank you guys for having me, and maybe I won't be so sweaty next time.
Okay, no, honestly.
It's just this room because she can't turn the air on.
Okay,
well, we're going to figure all of that out when I'm back.
Yeah. And we got to get Catherine on. Shout out to Catherine.
Yeah, shout out to Catherine.
Yeah, I want to meet her.
Me. Yeah. She's going to have to come back.
Yeah.
She has a lot of opinions and knows a lot more,
She does the hunters or jumpers?
So she does both.
Okay.
And her horse, Delara, is the greatest mare in the whole, jumper mare in the whole world.
We should do a whole episode about mares.
Oh, we should.
That's like a whole topic.
Oh my God. No, she has the greatest mare in the whole world. I got to lease her last year. She taught me everything I know. I mean, I owe that mare everything, and that'll teach you how to respect a horse. A good mare. She's like, leave me when I want to be led.
Yes.
Yeah. But we'll literally run through a brick wall for you. She's incredible. So
amazing.
Yeah, love them both.
Love it. Yeah. All right. See you guys next episode. Bye.
Well, friends, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Adult Amateurs Guidebook Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the discussion as always, and be sure to like and subscribe for more real and authentic conversations about the struggles and triumphs of balancing life and horses. Until next time, cheers to adulting and happy riding, friends.